It's something that I always wanted to do. It's not. It was a dream from childhood to always go to a rural hospital and work there.
My name is Dudu Zile.
I'm Natalie Brown.
My name is Ashley Morrigan.
Okay, I'm Janine Brooke.
And my surname is Mayaba.
Ashley.
I studied at University of Natal.
And I'm doing my comserve now in Ashawi Hospital. And I'm doing my comservice in Ashawi this year.
Spazula from Escort Hospital.
The physician, I'm the medical manager of St. Mary's KwaZulu-Natal Hospital.
I did comservice at Ashawi Hospital last year, 2006, and this year stayed on for a month, and I'm moving down the road to Catherine Booth Hospital, slightly deeper rural.
Young graduates emerge from medical school armed with the fruits of their years of study, and for many, an eagerness to get out there and make a difference. The reality of rural medicine, however, presents them with challenges that their training can only partly prepare them for. For it is here that many young South African doctors discover a world they hardly knew existed. This is where the tour ends. The South African reality of TB, HIV/AIDS, poverty and malnutrition provides an intensely challenging clinical scenario, but it is often the human and emotional factors that determine the future career choices of these young people. What South Africa desperately needs is for more of our young doctors and health professionals to commit themselves to an extended period of service in the underserved, overtaxed rural health system. The Centre for Rural Health, based at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, tracked a group of community service officers over a year in order to learn more about the reality of their experience and how their hopes and fears play out in this crucial and testing time. This short video is intended to give you a taste of some of the issues that arose from this group during 2007.
I'm scared because it's like there's no one, not like there's no one, there'll always be someone to call, when you have a problem. But when the patient comes, I'm the one who's there. And if something bad happens, I'll think, should I have done something more differently or, I can never be like, call the senior, I am the senior.
More especially obstetrics, you have to make decisions on your own and then you wake the second on call after making that decision whether this should be cesarean section or not.
Being caught in a situation where I don't know what to do and not being able to get help from anyone.
Orthopedics, I don't know what I'm doing at all.
I'm working in medicine at the moment, so a lot of it is sort of HIV, TB, specifically TB, multi-drug resistant TB in this province.
That's the other thing, the patient load is so huge that you really are just scratching the surface. You don't feel like you actually are seeing anyone or managing to deal with anyone.
I just want to end this year being confident.
See Elton John live at the Absa Stadium Turbo.
At the end of 2007, we once again talked to this group of community service doctors. The reality of working in a rural South African hospital had wrought many changes.
Sometimes I feel when you walk into that male ward, it's not a medical ward, it's like almost walking into a hospice. These are patients who are terminally ill, bulk of them all due to HIV, a lot of them with TB and opportunistic infections as well. And the problem is that these patients present so late. They come in with CD4 counts in single figures.
Before you die, the AIDS is finish you first. It's finish your body. We lie to it and before you die. And that, I don't like it. I feel shame about this thing. We told them every time, even in a church, we go there to pray there, we told them what we see in motion.
Seen them, have you been tested?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not go to test.
Why not?
My budget. Yeah. I've got no money, sometimes no transport to buying to my bazaar for free.
There's nothing you could have done at the moment, but yeah, it's taken me some time to get used to it because where I was last year, we never had many deaths, but yeah, there's quite a lot of deaths from just HIV alone.
When did you start to be sick?
Okay.
When did you start to be sick? When?
At work.
Some months?
At work.
At work, you started to be sick.
My mind is working all the time, day and night, thinking about what's happening, why I have to lose my son, why, and thinking that how can I help him? How can he survive? All that. We've buried so many people here being attacked by the same disease, but they are hiding. They said, hey, got a headache, got coughing, rheumatism, all those things. My foots are sore. And all that, they're hiding the thing.
What is it?
We can see that's AIDS. We can see. Because if you see a man comes thin and thin and thin, whenever we go to the funeral now, we see that this is AIDS.
A lot of the times, they talk about patients being dumped in OPD. The family would come in, and it's just that the family can't cope at home, so they just leave them and they want them to be admitted. And even if you discharge these patients, 2-3 weeks go and they're still lying in the ward.
That's why we have an efflux of patients with HIV, 99%, as I said, positive. It's because those are that's a part of the community that's underprivileged. They're uneducated, most of them, and they are the ones that end up with the burden of HIV.
But most of the mistake we doctors do is as soon as you hear the word HIV, then all the thinking channels close down. Then you say, this guy's got HIV-related kidney failure. There's nothing I can do about it. There's still a lot of things you can do. You can support this guy. Half of them, they will respond if you support them. So they'll say, okay, fine. HIV sorted.
Community service gives context to concept, as young doctors are challenged beyond the clinical.
You have to know your patient, the community they're in, and understand them completely. You can't just treat the condition. You probably have to treat the patient. And I know we've said it so many times in family medicine, and at one stage we thought, how many more times can we hear this? But now I properly understand it now, and I understand how important it is.
It is the meeting place of Western and traditional ways. So rural practitioners must prepare for a cross-cultural world of issues and ethics.
Is the enema thing throughout? Baby enema
Yeah.
throughout?
Even in the wards.
Huge.
Family members come to the wards and they all give their little bit of muti while you try and suddenly your child deteriorates and you wonder why, and then you put in nasogastric and you get some green stuff out. So it's just
and
often.
Sometimes it's even sisters who's the mothers, and they're also sisters at the hospital who administer it.
And our report is unnatural deaths, but nothing actually happens. So.
This is Sky World News Review and Business Report with Sasha Twining.
Welcome to Sky World News. These are the top stories. Activists in South Africa claim the government's handling of the AIDS epidemic is costing lives. They accuse the president of promoting traditional alternatives to prescribed medicines.
This could be a doctor's surgery, but what's being dispensed at this clinic in Durban isn't an approved drug. The brown liquid is called Ubajani, the Zulu for rhino, and it's being sold here at £10 a go as a treatment for AIDS.
We at the moment, we need to basically just educate people and try to get them to understand the disease. As the Sky News says, people have mixed views. They're confused about what's going on.
No medical training, but still he encourages his patients to come off the proven AIDS drugs to take his herbal formula. The recipe, he says, came to him in a dream.
According to what I have, my result from my patient, just cure.
I can say that. We're not without doubting. I'm not doubting because I know what he does.
We all go around thinking we can change the world and try to solve all problems. But if you stick to your community and try to make a little change that you're there, I'm sure that it makes a difference to at least maybe 1,000 lives.
It wasn't always like this. In the days before HIV tightened its stranglehold, South African rural hospitals were known to be the best place in the world for young doctors to get experience in tropical medicine and trauma.
50 milligrams stat.
We spent some weeks in these same hospitals in the early 1990s.
An emergency type and screen.
Yeah. Hi, Jono, can you hear me over? I'm phoning from Upanzi, over.
Yes, I can hear you. Over.
I've got a lady here with an ectopic pregnancy. She'll need a laparotomy as soon as she gets to hospital. She's coming up with one of the medical students.
The rural doctors were faced with snake bites, malaria, gunshot wounds, a range of surgical challenges, and all the diseases of poverty.
Most of the diseases were things I was unfamiliar with from the UK. We don't see much typhoid, malaria, snake bites, and so on.
He says it's as thick as his leg. The snake was as thick as his leg.
Malaria.
Yes. Yeah, one.
The full range of conditions is still with us, but often obscured by the sheer weight of the HIV prevalence of today, an epidemic that was only just starting to show its face then. Nowadays, even more so than ever before, an African rural doctor who is dedicated and passionate about his or her work can consider themselves of the finest in the world.
I'd encourage them to basically do the CD4 counts, try and push the patient into the program as early as possible. And then after that, start thinking about something else of what to do for the patients. I must be aware that not everything is HIV. We still get those HIV negative patients. Like you've been thinking, oh, probably there's symptoms and signs. If you do the test, there's nothing in there. Then you get, oh, sure, things, oh, there's hope in here. Okay, let me start working, let me become more active. Okay.
The closest the Russian comes. No, the Russian test so that I can just hold it out in the...
Rural is the cutting edge of relevant medicine, and with good support from seniors, healing hands are born.
No, well, I think as doctors we've always learned from each other. That's the way that medicine has always been practiced, isn't it? You know, what we learn in the classroom is one thing, but when you're actually during the operation, then you need to know that there's somebody there to be a backup for you.
Actually found that here in Iskrukrand and Asha Memorial, the environment is very conducive, you know, it's supportive. As a young professional, you don't feel lost, really. It's just like you've seen now, we've been doing IND, and you get a lot of backup support, and you know, you get taught.
13, you've got to get it right.
Yes, it was exactly like this.
Otherwise you end up with a funny arm.
Yes, if it's not perfect,
it's trouble.
Give it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But personally, I think you need to be a man to do orthopedics.
No.
Is it?
Or a pondo.
A showy OPD, comserve Dr. Natalie Brown is faced with a dilemma. A young boy brought in by his aunt is severely disoriented and in pain. He has been on antiretrovirals for 6 months. Could it be linked?
I have no idea. He's on antiretroviral treatment, which can do lots of things, but this is acute onset that started today. He's got dilated pupils, so he's not really responding. Like he's screaming, which is good, but he's not responding.
She has to act decisively and prepares for a lumbar puncture to help get some answers.
I'm scared. Lumbar punctures are not easy on kids who are screaming. Dr. Roxon is here until 6 every day, so that's how he does his overtime. So I'm trying to do this while he's still here, so there's someone else to help.
Screen him a bit before I totally wind him up.
After several unsuccessful attempts, Natalie gets the assistance of a senior doctor, but things don't improve.
There's blood in the CSF.
So he went into that feeling scared. How did he come out of it?
Well, it's not nice, because now we just have to treat him for something we don't even know if he has it.
And what do you think it is?
I don't know. Could be related to the ARVs. It's probably quite late. He's been on them for more than 6 months usually. So then the first 2 or 3 months that they react badly. He could have HIV now in the brain. He could have meningitis, he could have TB in the brain, he could have anything.
Is this a fairly common kind of experience you're having here? Is this
Not with kids, not with kids. With adults, yeah, they do come in often, and most of the time it is meningitis or end-stage AIDS, and we try what we can, which is what we have to do here. It's just not so nice in kids. You want to know what's happening.
This is going to be a long night, typical of a rural hospital. So what exactly are the factors at a rural hospital that make young CSOs choose one way or the other? What makes the experience a good one, and what makes them want to head home as soon as possible? It is clear that those who stay need to be more than the doctors or nurses that medical school trains you to be. Learning to live and work in what can be an uncomfortable paradise, you are made ready for the most important lesson of all. For it is here you will learn about humanity. And the rewards are many. For doctors Kiran Lashmiranan and Priyoshni Naidu, their shift is over, and now it's a 2-hour drive home to Durban.
Yeah, so how was your day anyway? You know what, wasn't too bad, but I just charged like 100 patients because I just think some of them were just admitted and put on oral antibiotics, and I really don't think that is on.
When I was in med school, my perception was these nice doctors with white coats going around. It's more like a private scene, private hospital scene. But really, it's nothing what I expected. Absolutely nothing.
And so I reached my ward, and it was the male medical ward, which was full. And there's nobody around except all these nurses. And they're like, oh, you're the new doctor, come let's start the round. And I'm like, start the round? What do you mean, start the round? Where's my registrar? Where's my consultant?
Back at Ashowe Hospital, Natalie Brown has been on duty for over 18 hours. There are still no hard answers to the young boy's condition.
Basically, his liver functions look like they're coming down a bit. Is that really that's crazy? Liver functions coming down a bit. We're still not any closer to why he's in liver failure. I think it might be ARV related. We at the moment going to now investigate for malaria, for typhoid, do a blood culture and see what we come up with. I really enjoy this. It's fantastic. The people we work with, the community of Ashowe is fantastic. The staff and people we work with. There is so much politics on the senior levels in this hospital. The fact that we keep losing our senior supervision, we don't have that. I'm so glad to get out of. I can't wait till I have a senior that I can actually just say, please come and review cases, and he comes and reviews cases. That's really what we need.
How's it going, Nat? Are you finished?
No, I'm fine. I'm out of my depth. I've done peds for a week, and I'm like, and Janine's very helpful, but she's the senior, and she's also a consultant doctor, so the whole thing is a disaster. We will mostly save until we crack this one. That's right, we will. Well, you feel terrible. It's easy answer. It's terrible. But it's terrible even to have parents watch kids like this and families watch kids like this. Other way. How come these kids don't come back? This child is sick. The families are very caring. It's very rewarding with these kids. Like they you know, it also breaks your heart because they break as well.
Time and time again, as we watched doctors connect with patients on a level beyond pure clinical medicine, we saw healing happen and witnessed CSOs turning into committed doctors.
Admitted with a social problem. There was a child outside that was being fed by the 11-year-old. The 11-year-old girl was actually taking care of this child as well as her grandparents and her aunt at home. Everybody else is critically ill, so it was just that girl there that we're seeing outside through the window is actually, taking care of this family. The neighbor had brought them in to hospital, and we had realized that it's not a good environment for these kids to be in. So a social worker was contacted. I think there were quite a few home visits that were done, and they're just looking for alternative family at the moment for them to...
So that child who's feeding that young baby out there is in fact, for all intents and purposes, the guardian, the parent who's come and continuing to give support in the hospital.
Yeah, in essence.
That is why community nurses have to do a home visit.
Yeah. Because the problem is, you can sort out the problems here, but the moment they step out, those same problems are going to recur. You're not really changing the cycle. The child will just be discharged and 2 months down the line come back with a similar problem, or because you haven't done anything to prevent that from recurring.
Comserve Dr. KwaZulu has come to understand the real needs of the community he serves.
You really feel it for these kids because they're not enjoying what they should be enjoying, childhood, playing, the playgrounds, proper education, the on and off school, Sometimes you feel very connected to them, You really want to help them and see them out, back to their normal community, back to school.
A compassionate doctor brings out the best in those around him.
The mother here is she's crying, she wants to sleep over. So we've got a policy whereby we try, there's not enough space, not cubicle there, we reserve it for the mothers. But basically, the 6 months or less kids, we try to admit the mothers as well. So
I think it makes it is easier even for nurses because it's easy to talk with, unlike this super power doctor which how can I approach him, he will be scared that they can be scared that he will say I know my work, but with such a doctor like him it's easy. So they know that he loves his patients, so they know that whatever they can identify as a problem, he will attend it promptly.
This level of commitment to service does not come from the doctor alone. Many young doctors spoke about their relationships with the hospital management and how this has a prime influence on their commitment and ability to perform.
But it's been a good team at Catherine Booth. No real politics, nothing too harsh, very friendly atmosphere.
Every young doctor that comes here, they should, when you leave, at least leave a mark. That is what I say to everyone. Make a small change. The small change, a change in the system or a change in management of the patient that'll stay there for a few years. I've seen. I've got Yuki here, who's done this PM policy, which is helped do, and that's going to go on for a few years. People are going to follow that, and it's made a big difference in that we've addressed the problem that we had before. Patients are coming in and surviving. Previously we had a couple of deaths, but now that we've got this running, it's made a big difference.
KwaZulu-Natal Hospital is truly at the end of the tar road. While most rural facilities are overloaded with patients, KwaZulu-Natal is one of the few that can boast a full complement of doctors. Staff shortages mean less time for young doctors to improve their skills.
Most of our patients, they take treatment, but they don't even understand what is the importance of completing TB treatment. That's why the TB awareness is very, very important.
Staff here say that the medical manager can make a big difference.
I must say we've been blessed and we're very fortunate to have such a team. I think it's the first time in this institution to have so many doctors. Lisa, I think what is important is to create an environment where doctors will feel at ease, will feel wanted and valuable, where they will be happy to say what they are not happy about or they are happy with, and to create a team atmosphere where people will work as a team.
Support made all the difference to Dr. Dudu Mayaba when she arrived as a young comserve.
There are a lot of opportunities to develop. Like, for instance, we're having Dr. Buthelezi from Eshawa. He's done most of the things. So whenever you're stuck and then you go to him, he's willing to teach you.
It was easy for her because she is a person who's coming forward and is willing to learn. Then you can call her and say, I've got this thing, I know you are not on call, but if you are prepared to come and have a look at it with me, you can do that.
As a community service doctor, I'm still learning, and the reason why I phone them, it's because sometimes I'm not sure, I just need that help.
A well-staffed hospital means that it is more likely that management will support CSOs in doing extra courses.
We are trying to intubate this patient.
Yeah, for every single course that I've applied for so far, they have given me approval to go for them.
Yeah, I think that has been very key in this place in terms of recruiting and retaining.
At hospitals across the province, this story plays itself out, with medical managers being crucial to the future challenges of rural healthcare. But there are clearly many challenges on the road ahead.
What we had this year was that we are very short-staffed this year, so they think that they are overworked. It affects the patient the most.
All of these things done in all of the hospitals.
In 2008, the new 2-year internship drastically cut the number of comserves available in KwaZulu-Natal. However, despite losing Dr. Mayaba to private practice, Dr. Myeni is confident that his team will grow.
So the most popular, in fact, is anesthetics.
My approach first is to make them feel welcome and to feel comfortable, and also to show to them that they are not lost, but they've come to a family environment.
We just like interact as family members. If one is sick, everybody's concerned, and so they are so caring.
Simply put, a supportive environment makes better doctors. Dr. Mayaba learned quickly how to cope with the crowded OPD.
So they made me to be in charge of OPD. And then since I'm in charge, it's like the responsibility, everything they report to me. And at the same time, if it's full, it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility because the other doctors, they have to go to the wards and do their works, and then they'll only join me after 11. So it's very hectic.
Hectic, but beautiful. In Dudu Mayaba's own words, this place is heaven. Between her shifts, Dudu recharges her soul by losing herself in the beauty of this place. She has made a spiritual connection with the community and their world.
But it's nice, we've got trees around, we've got monkeys, and then you sort of like enjoy the view and you forget about everything. It's nice, I like it here. Have you seen the monkeys? You haven't? We've got a lot of monkeys, and I always buy some bread for them. They stay up there over those mountains, over those.
Success in any endeavor relies largely on one's attitude. We are what we feel. When one is told of the poor road to Catherine Booth, one may get disillusioned. But with the right attitude, a rocky road makes no difference to what one can achieve. The happiest people in life don't necessarily have the best of everything. They do strive to make the best of everything though. Have you ever noticed the poorest people photographed in the remotest villages in the world are always smiling? Rural medicine is you're dealing with everything. You're the manager. You're running your meetings. You're able to basically make changes on a broader scale, not just to the individual.
At hospitals across the province, this story plays itself out, with medical managers being crucial to the present and future challenges of rural healthcare. By the end of 2007, the CSOs we talked to all agreed that their career choices were strongly influenced by their managers.
Our medical manager is actively thinking of as many incentives as possible to retain the community service doctors, especially on for next year.
They didn't support any of the courses that we wanted to go on.
It's completely beyond me how long it takes to get very simple things done when there are structures in place for problems to be sorted out in a quicker manner, but it just doesn't seem to work. And from the response that or from the conversations that I've had with my colleagues working in other centres, Escort is not alone.
If there was a possibility where I think I could have been hurt in any way, then it would be something I would consider. But because of this blank wall that I'm looking at and talking to all the time, it's not motivating me at all. I think what gets us through now is that we just have basically 3 more months, you know. Nothing.
It's a countdown.
Basically. Yeah, it's a countdown now.
Everyone has the same experience. The human resource guys are sure we are stronger than you doctors. You doctors are not the bosses.
It's our hospital manager is very keen that we get it, but the rest of our management's kind of opposed to doctors going on courses.
Currently, we were discouraged to go for courses. As we are short-staffed, the medical manager used to tell us, no one's going to go for the course because we are short-staffed.
We're not on the top, but the changes you can make is by advising those at the top what to do. Then you've also got the team that you're leading. They look up to you as well. So you got to basically show them the right path.
At Murchison Hospital near Port Shepstone, retention of community service officers has been high. Of the 6 CSOs from 2007, 5 opted to stay.
I think if you create that, essentially you have a medical manager and senior doctors who are interested in them, who work with them, who mentor them at the coalface. If you have a project and a plan for them for the year, and you weld them into teams so they have a sense of ownership and they're a bit of community. And I think that's the secret. That's what we've done. It's nothing new. It's what everybody else is doing, but it really does work.
Management should not actually stay just on top up there without the staff knowing what is happening. Just involve them in most of the activities. Just encourage them and then tell them to initiate whatever maybe ideas in particular programs where they participate, and then you show a sense of appreciation.
Dr. Spar Zulu is staying on at Escort Hospital. He has built a positive relationship with his fellow staffers, management and the community.
I'll say with all the shortcomings that were there this year, when I came here initially was to just do my comserve and go straight specialize, deciding what to do. But with all the shortcomings in the hospital and the rural community, with a lot of things that I decided to stay for another year and just try to make a difference.
Despite the frustration?
Despite all the shortcomings, frustrations. Just stay for
Same
another
hospital,
year.
Escort.
He loves his patients. He loves the patients and he loves working with the people. I mean, I think if you can get so many doctors, I mean, maybe more, or 1,000 or 2,000 more doctors like that, you would see difference. We thank him for staying.
Thanks, Thomas. Okay, we'll go.
See you.
Okay.
Keep quiet.
And it's
Nice talking to you.
Doctor?
Dr. Hlongwane. Tulani Hlongwane is my name.
Thank you, sir.
Profession, helping the sick. Keep quiet.
In September 2007, Dr. Physician Myeni, the medical manager of KwaZulu-Natal Hospital, married his longtime sweetheart Mabongi in a packed church in the rural town of Eshowe. After the wedding, they left for a dream honeymoon in Mauritius, paid for by the doctors and staff of his hospital.